Hey Sag, welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot and welcome to your cards for April. Hope you guys are doing well. So as you could sense, we're all kind of in a period of change. I feel like it's a holding chamber, the end of March. Now, I'm coming to you at the end of March. There's a lot of intensity with Aries season. And then, as if that wasn't enough, we have a Jupiter and a Pluto conjunction. We have Venus that's going to enter the month of April, making beautiful trines to Saturn and all the big hitters as she moves towards the end of Taurus, and then she gets ready to step into Gemini. Your seventh house is on fire this month. You have not only Venus moving into your seventh house of relationships in April, but she's going to stay there in retrograde for 4 months. So essentially, this is the summer of Gemini. As Venus ingresses into your seventh house, so does the North Node. And the nodes are so important for you, Sag. You become the South Node in May. And so there's a big period of adjustment. Now, Pluto and Jupiter conjunct in your second house, and the ingress of Saturn and Mars in your third tells me that Sag gets to take a little bit of a break. Saturn and Mars both in your third can usually be a pretty decent transit. Nothing earth-shattering. I will tell you, if there are things that you let go about your car, about communications, devices, computers, if you don't have the proper security, you're going to get a virus. It's going to be a huge pain in the ass, technology-wise. If you've been meaning to get that oil change or something fixed on your car, but you don't, Saturn is going to teach you those hard lessons. You're going to break down on the side of the road. That's just kind of the themes for the month, but all in all, it's a lot easier than what you've been dealing with. Your sign, your ruling planet, Jupiter, meets up with Pluto, which is the planet of depth. It's a planet of our subconscious. It's our fears and how we let it control us. And this plays out a lot. I'm looking at these cards and I'm thinking there's something so magical about the way that they've captured the energy, I think, of Jupiter meets Pluto, because there's two cards that just stick out to me here, and the way that they're laid out. So they're laid out like this when they came out. The Fool and the Death card. Sag, this is you, Jupiter, the ruling planet, and Pluto coming head to head. Okay, so it's going to point out to you a lot of duality this month. And a lot about how you get in your own way. So let's talk about how you tend to get in your own way. 7 of Wands. You create your own blocks. You build those walls. I think in a lot of ways, Sag is want to keep things cool. They don't want to be, you know, that Saturn, that heavy influence, you know, keep it light, keep it fun, keep it casual. My Saggies always do, although it's not the card of Sag, you know, the Fool always does remind me of that Sagittarius need for freedom. The kind of simple life that the Sag really likes. The not having a lot of baggage, the ability to pick up and move in whatever direction you want to, the ability to stay open to opportunities. But it's a hard time being open to opportunities when you have to face your fears. And this month is all about tearing down those walls, facing those fears, and making some pretty big decisions. I sense that there's a feeling of stagnation. Now, this is coming through for every single sign. A lot of these cards are very repetitive. We're all going through the same kind of existential crisis period in our lives, even if it seems on the outside very boring. There is great progress within. And the month of April is kind of that turning point where things start to happen outwardly. But really that's all up to you, how quickly things will move. Because although I think that it's become very apparent, 8 of Wands in reverse, next to an Emperor in reverse, that there is a situation or a relationship in which you're kind of being asked to step up to the plate, to take leadership, to take control, and you seem a little frozen. 8 of Wands in reverse is the inability to take action, and the Emperor in reverse, you're coming across as someone who is a little tempered, afraid to make that move. But the thing is, coming out under the Emperor in reverse is the 2 of Cups. So this is an intense and probably extremely karmic relationship. And there's a lot of love here. There's so much love. Diagonally, they came across from each other. There could be really, really beautiful things that come from this connection. And I think you know that. I think that you realize this is something special. Yet your inability your lack of willingness to work on it, invest in it, grow in it, your inability to talk about it, to have the vision and make the plans. Well, that's not a recipe that's going to get you here. So this is your challenge this month, Sag. Because here's what the universe wants you to know. You manifested this. And the universe delivered exactly what you wanted and prayed for. it gave you this divine connection and this opportunity, and now there is pressure. I'm not sure if it's from the other person or from you or just from, Aries season and the feeling that you need to take action and make changes in your life. You've got a lot going on in your 6th house as well, which tells me your environment, your everyday routines may be changing, as all of ours are. And it might be throwing you off. It might be a reason that you feel you need to slow down. And that's okay. This is you, Sag. This is you. Your card. And if you feel like this needs a little bit more time to cook before it turns into this, that's absolutely okay. Also know that this connection is extremely karmic, and it is brought to you by the divine, and it is being watched over and protected. Great. Because there's a lot of potential to screw it up. Now, do I think that Sag is going to screw it up? No. Do I think the energy, which is coming across as a Queen of Pentacles, is going to screw it up? No. No, because you guys are working through and cleaning out all of the shadow sides before you could make this connection. And Sag, your shadow side is completely different, because I think you're seeing the way that you block yourself. Again, you manifested this, and it's looking you right in the eye, and it's actually frightening how perfect it is. And I think when you go into a connection like this, and this came up for Leo too, I think a lot of this energy this month is all about the intensity and what we're willing to allow. How deep are we willing to go? I think the universe has put us with the right people in the right situations. If not, it will. All players on board, everybody ready. And then it's just a matter of how much heat can you take. Because the heat over time creates transformation. And Sag, no matter how much you're trying to avoid transformation because it's intense and it's, 5th house, Chiron, Eris, Black Moon, Lilith, the Sun, and a new moon, yes. Suddenly, the thought of real love and real connection scares the shit out of you. You begin to realize that if you're truly open to this person, then you're vulnerable. And all of the past hurts come to the surface. And Sag wonders, am I really ready for this? Maybe life would be easier if I were alone. If there were just less baggage. If there was less responsibilities. If I could keep it cool and keep it free. But that's not what you asked for. And so I find a lot of strength and determination and guidance that's going to get you through the inevitable changes that have to occur. Sag, I think that you sense a lot of changes in your life. maybe even to the point of an entirely new identity. That's kind of what we're all doing now, whether it's major career changes, major changes in relationships, moving. You know, this can represent a new home, this can represent an engagement. This can also represent moving. You know, I think there's big transitional periods for us, and it is because we're starting new cycles. This is the end of the old and the stepping into the new, and we're kind of in between those two worlds right now. And it's in between those two worlds that we find our way through what seems to be darkness, because we're being asked to rely on something completely different than we've ever relied on before. And this is an overall mundane astrology theme that we're dealing with. If you look at what's going on in our world, you know, nobody really knows. We're all operating in the dark. We have charts and graphs and figures, and we could try to analyze it, but none of it is factual. And we have a hard time obtaining the real facts right now, right? Testing is an issue, you know, when it comes to this coronavirus. Not understanding. You watch the news and there's so many different and conflicting stories, and you start to realize that the sources in which you trust may not be what you need to get you through this period. That maybe in a twist of events, we're placed into a reality in which we sort of have to close our eyes and go within and search for answers there. And for, I think, a lot of us in the collective, well, that's uncomfortable. It doesn't make sense. We're in a period now where we continue to slip into old patterns. But as soon as we step into that old pattern, something pulls us back. Something says, no. Saturn-Pluto conjunction. No. It's a new cycle now. It's a new cycle, and it has nothing to do with your past. You have to leave your past behind. All of the grief, all of the heartache has to be transformed into this and this. Once you transform all of those heartbreaks and disappointments, whether it's from this particular connection or connections in your past, once you allow the old story to end and you allow the wounds to heal, and they will, because there's magic that's happening right now. Your guides are really with you. You know, it's just an amazing time where the planets maybe are more powerful, or, you know, events may start to occur that feel like destiny. They feel like they're meant to be. Like, this is your other half. This is your brand new life. These are real possibilities right in front of you, Sag. But you have to end the old in order to step into the new. I love that the Temperance card is right next to that Two of Cups, because I don't think you have to worry about losing this relationship. I don't think it's a matter of, if you make the wrong move, it's all going to fall apart and you're never going to have another chance again. But, you know, you'll heal and move on. I hate that message because it's just never really true. You don't just have a substantial relationship and connection in your life, and if it doesn't work and you screwed it up, like, oh, well. No, you carry that. You carry that pain and that disappointment with you. You put it in your pocket, and then you move on in your life, and you know, another event happens and you put that in your pocket, and all of a sudden you've got all these rocks in your pocket and you're weighted down and it's hard to move. And that's all that we want to do, is for you to empty your pockets of all of those disappointments, because when you carry those with you that way, you just keep recreating the same disappointments. There's a dissolving of your ego, because the universe wants to give you a new identity. First house and the body. So, Sag, if there is big emotional stuff that you're avoiding, things you don't want to deal with, conversations you don't want to have, hurts you don't feel like rehashing, then you hold on to them, right? You hold on to them in your emotional space. And when you shove them down deep long enough and you refuse to look at them for what they are, you refuse to look at them and heal them and take all of the rocks out of your pocket, when that happens, when you carry that with you, it takes a physical manifestation in your body. And so right now, you're at a time of expansion. And you have to be really careful when you're in a period of expansion, because the energy wants to expand. Jupiter, whatever it comes across now, this could be in your finances, but you have to be careful about the way that you handle the energy. When things become increased, be it your schedule, your, maybe you're at home, your schedule's messed up and you're at home, and there's a lot of nervous energy, feeling like you're not getting things done. And you notice that you're eating a lot. You know, be it emotional eating. Part of fortune will bring on weight gain very quickly. If there is an emotional issue that you have not healed and you're refusing to look at, it's going to manifest physically into physical symptoms, stomach aches, headaches. If you're having inexplicable, and I'm not talking about the virus right now, this is not about, a cold or anything, but you do need to be conscious of your physical health at this time, and how your mental state really does play a role in your physical health, and be a little bit more conscious about what you're putting into your body, in form of substances as well as in forms of emotions. When you're in a really beautiful and loving relationship, you radiate love outside. And I think your ability to transform this month and to open up, to be vulnerable, and to take the leap of faith that you're being asked to take. North Node in Cancer, just getting ready to leave that 8th house and step into your 7th house. That means that whatever level of intensity and emotion you're willing to meet is exactly what you're going to get. So don't sell yourself short. If you want a really profound and intimate relationship, you're going to have to allow yourself to be really profound and intimate. And that is by dissolving the ego. Pisces. I believe. Pisces is all about being in that open, flowing state of surrender. Pisces is the energy of letting that person know you love them, facing your fear of whether or not, those feelings are mutual. Pisces just lets it out there. And I think also Pisces representing your 4th house of home. And like I said, the moving cards coming up, there could be a great deal of change in your home front, in what you consider your home to be. That came up for Capricorn as well. It's all about getting into a good emotional state and relying on your intuition, knowing South Node, life stats, knowing that some things just simply have to end. Some stresses, some old way of life has to end, and you have to allow it to transform. If you're in a situation in which you're thinking about moving in with a partner, again, a lot of things coming up around the home, around moving. I do think that will happen. I do think a moving in together, a merging of households may occur. And that may cause a great deal of uncomfort. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, just being a little bit held down, and there's a fear of being held down, but I think you'll recognize that this cycle is different. Again, with new cycles, it's doing things differently. It's bringing new beginnings. It's refreshing old relationships. It's creating the new. Bottom of the deck, I really love this card. Queen of Swords. Look how... Oh, I hope we could focus here, because I just love this. First of all, she looks exhausted, right? But satisfied. And look in her hand, she has a sword, the sword of truth, and a mask. So I'm not sure if this Queen of Swords is your person and she's feeling extremely satisfied because there's been a removal of the mask of what you've used to protect yourself. Hollowed up by the Princess of Wands and the Prince of Wands. This is a new phase. Oh my gosh. This is a new phase. What this will, if you allow the transformation, in speaking the truth and having the real communication that's required, I think you're satisfied. I think you're satisfied. You have a vision for the future. You know who and what you're moving towards. And here's another couple. And they're young and naive. So, I mean, I don't want to say like naive, but there's a lot of passion. There's so much love and there's passion in this relationship. I see this really positive if you're willing to break down the wall and allow it to fully come in. If you're not willing to invest deeply in this, then you're going to want to step away from it because it is scary. It is intense, this type of connection. So there may be times where you feel anxious and you think, oh, forget it. I don't want to do this. It's just too much. things do trigger you when you enter into connections like this. You know, when we meet karmic partners, of course, you can never spend a million years with somebody and never hurt each other, right? Never hurt each other's feelings or anything. You're supposed to. You're supposed to trigger each other. It's part of the growth. We grow through emotional situations and connections and partnerships. That's where we make the most progress in our life, is when we're open up to those possibilities and open up to what each person can teach us about them and about ourselves. There's wisdom. Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the crocodile. So the other side, because this is really all about Sag. Like, I don't see the other person's energy except for here, and I don't think it doesn't paint a really clear picture of them fully with their energy. But the Queen of Pentacles and the crocodile tells me that there's a calm sense of waiting. You know, the crocodile is never anxious. You know, it's never, it never moves quickly. It doesn't have to. It just sort of lays in the water and it keeps itself cool. I think if this is a relationship that's extremely intense, even sexually, your person might be pulling back a little bit, seeming a little bit cold, or, just holding back enough where he or she is not, I say she because it's a Queen of Pentacles. They may have their own walls up too, but I think they're just waiting for you to make the move. And then the bad energy comes out, and that's just the ability, and I love the way there's like a planet right behind them. The bad talks to us about our ability to see in the dark, to follow our intuition, to be led towards what we need. It's a mode of survival, both the crocodile and the bat. But I think the crocodile energy of your person is the exact elixir that you need. They're not going to apply pressure. There's just no need to apply pressure, because eventually there's a level of faith with the Leap card that you're going to kind of work through what you need to work through and just wake up when you need to move, when you need to make those moves. The bat will automatically go where it needs to go. It senses in different ways, and it could see its way through the darkness and the tunnel right towards you, towards this new cycle. Allow the walls to crumble, Sag. Let April really open you up. Allow yourself to receive exactly what you manifested, exactly what you dreamt of. This is a chance where it's not too good to be true. There's so much love and passion and stability here, and the only thing that's holding it back is you're allowing the transformation to occur. Take care of yourself, Sag. Honor yourself. Again, be really conscious of your health at this time. Uranus and a new moon in your 6th house. Just be really conscious about your health and internal things bubbling up to the surface and taking on those physical aspects that we talked about. If you're feeling extremely tired, honor your body and take a nap. If you're feeling pent-up energy, do something to move your body. Follow your intuition at this time, and I think you're going to be able to get your way through the emotional upheavals and the ups and downs, and I think you're going to have the strength. And I think by the time that you overcome this hesitation, things are really going to take off by the end of the month. Again, the retrograde Venus going through your 7th house promises a whole nother story. There's a lot going on about commitments and partnerships and sharing and creating lives together. So this is just the beginning of what looks to be a pretty beautiful story, Sag. All right, I'll be checking in with you throughout the weeks. Not sure if I'm going to do mid-months. I might just do some pick-a cards and element readings this month. We'll see. All right, if you don't mind, Sag, drop a like, share, and subscribe. Help grow the channel. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you stay in a healthy, quarantined love bubble for the month of April. Take care.